Ask the question. Just like I will jump over and I'll see who's asked this in a second in the group, but I struggle with funnels and the content writing. So when you do that, you empower yourself to actually learn a solution. There's a problem in this industry, right? That we're supposed to answer like in a reflex. How's business? Fantastic. My business is making like, it's Dina, hey, how you going? Thank you for being brave enough to ask that question, because now everybody else gets the benefits and so does you. So congratulations on taking that step. It's another step towards being a better version of yourself, right? So there are, like I said, opportunities to grow. There's one. Do you want to ask a question? Maybe I do. I'll do that. I'll put myself out there. You know, a better person than you were 5 minutes ago. Sounds like I'm making a big deal out of it, but these little steps, they count. So congratulations on doing that. No, you're welcome. It matters. It does matter. Slowly, you start to look back at yourself and go, oh, I'm different than I used to be. I'm improving. I didn't know how. Little steps like that, they add up. It's called marginal gains. So what was I talking about? Yeah, when you ask these questions, it puts you out there to get these solutions. Everybody in our industry is like, oh, my company's got a multi-billion-dollar deal. It's going to be the Amazon of the industry, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but that doesn't really impact you. I get this a lot when I'm having conversations with people. Richard, you've got to see this company. It's the best this, it's the best that. It's got this many millions in sales, blah, blah. I'm like, that's really cool. I really love your excitement. How many of those are in your team? How many of those sales are yours? Well, actually, I'm struggling to get past the first rank, or I haven't made any sales yet. I'm like, okay, so I get that someone told you to leverage that as the main way that you market, but what we really need to focus on is how can you make more sales? How can you get more team members? Because that's a much easier thing to leverage. You know, when you can come back and answer, I'm in the 5th rank of the company, I got 3,000 people in my team did 20 grand in sales this month, you have a level of confidence that you can't manufacture. So that's what we need to do, get as quickly as possible you into the position where you are the result. So yeah, leverage things by all means when you're new, but we want to have as small a window as possible, as tight, as quick a journey as possible to be able to go and say, hey, I am getting the results. Come follow me, I can prove it. So Dina's saying, I struggle with funnels and the content writing. She's got a follow-up to this question. I fear learning them because I'm a better speaker than writer. I fear automation to the sales process in network marketing. Okay, so great question. We're getting somewhere now, Dina. We're getting somewhere, okay? Fear is good to identify. The first step in overcoming fear and struggle is to name it, is to say, yeah, I have that, is to admit it. Too many people in our industry, business is amazing, business is fantastic. No, it's not just say, because we all have ups and downs in our life. Like, I love my business some days more and less on other days. I have happy days and sad days. I have a family, I have a life. So Richard Matthew doesn't have I don't want to refer to myself in the third person. I don't always have like a smooth journey. This journey has definitely not been smooth. So don't be afraid to admit when things aren't going as you would like them. That's how we get solutions. Best solutions I've ever found, going to people and saying, you look like you've got the results that I want those results, can you help me get them? Most of the time you find people come back and they'll be like, yeah, sure, here's a tip. Well, I would wait years to discover that. Years of my family struggle, years of me not getting answers and frustration. So ask the question, so congratulations on doing that. I'm a better speaker than a writer. So here's what I would do. You can go to rev.com, rev.com, and it's $1 per minute of transcription. So for the longer copy of your advertising or of your sales funnels or of things that you want to do, you can actually record your voice and have it transcribed. So often, if you're like someone, which I feel is what you're telling me, Richard, if I could just say it, then I'm able to kind of get the juices flowing, the creativity juices, I can get my teeth into it. I can get a great response. Great, play to that strength. Record your audio with what you want to try and communicate in your writing, send it to rev.com, and for $5 or $10, they'll send you a full transcription back, and you can read that and take out the best bits of what you've said. That can become your sales funnel. So there's one great idea for you that's cheap and easy. You can do that today. Second thing, sales funnels, the best medium to use, video. So if you're a great speaker, that's a huge advantage to you. I would rather you say you're a better speaker than writer, because a lot of writers, which is what I was a better writer than a speaker. So behind a keyboard, no problem. Camera in my face, I'm like, all the spit's gone out of my mouth. Where did that all go? It's like I was in a vacuum. You know, the dentist? I was like, yeah, I'm confident, I'm ready, I've got my script written down, cameras on, I'm like, gone. I'm like, oh, my name is Richard Mather. I was like, oh, this is terrible, this is a nightmare. Sweating buckets, 3 shirts later. So if you're a better speaker than a writer, that is a great thing. I built my whole organization using live video on my personal feed. Oh, come on, Dina, you can do this. You can do this. That's a sales funnel. Do you know what a sales funnel is? It's crafting an offer that you can put in front of people that they say, yes, I want that enough to give you my email and learn more. Then we give them the learn more, and we give them a clear call to action. So if you can use live video, which is the most nerve-wracking of all, because you can't make any mistakes, right? You can't, well, you can, but you can't edit them like on a video. There's no safety net. You're definitely able to build a funnel. Why don't you edit one of your best live videos and use that as a video? It's a start. I've done that before. I've used live videos and been like, oh man, that would be really good for me to say to my audience. So just download the live video, take the snippet that you feel has got real value in, and there's your offer. Hey, you know, like you could just use that easy. You could use it, right? Think about what it is that you say. So maybe let's say I was going to do the same with this live video, right? Only people in this group have got access. So what I could do is I could maybe use this as a sales funnel to get more group members. So I could create a funnel where I think there's some really good content in this video. I'll go back over the questions and I could say, hey, you know, do you want to know the way that Shirley asked a question? How are you supposed to create valuable content that attracts an audience when you have no results? I answered that at minute number 17. At the 29th minute, I teach you how to navigate that tricky process as if you and your team are chasing the same prospects. How can you get over that fear, and how can you continue to do that ethically? 29th minute, I'll answer that. And I can go through the questions that people have asked here, right? And I can use this video as part of my funnel. And there's my offer. And then in the video, I'm going to say, hey, by the way, if you're liking this content, we do this every week. There's a button beneath the video, request to join my Authority Networker group, and you'll be able to ask me your question and get your answer inside of this video, inside of that, right? Okay. So you can do that. Use your skills that you've got. I'm not sure if you're my HBA. If you're in my HBA program, like just follow that process. I'm like, here's how to pick an audience, the exact one you know is going to work. Here's how to, with the exact things you know they're going to be appealed by. Here's the exact things to say slide by slide in your videos in your funnel. Here's how to advertise your funnel. Here's how to get your team duplicating it. So everything, if you're in that program, Dean, I can't remember if you are off the top of my head, but if you are, like it's in there, step by step, exactly how to do this entire process, from who you target, how you target them, what to say in the videos, any scripts, all those things. Oh, you're not. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll send you a private message after we get off this live. There's a webinar where you can take a look at more of my teachings, and at the end of that webinar, there's a free trial. So you don't have to pay anything to start off with. You can take a 7-day trial. On the 8th day, the payment starts, unless any time in the 7 days you've cancelled. So you can cancel it all for 7 days. On the 8th day, the payment starts. You don't have to commit to anything financially before you take a look at that. So I'll do that for you. Someone's asking, it's the second time I've been asked this week, are funnels duplicatable? I'm glad you asked that. I'm glad whoever asked that. Someone messaged me about that in my inbox the other day. So I've done a YouTube video about this somewhere, and I can't think of the name of it. Let's put against each other the traditional method that everybody says is duplicatable and the online funnels method. Let's put them against each other. Let's look at the skills required, the time required, everything required to make both of those work, okay? So let's go traditional first. Let's look at the traditional process of building a network marketing business. When you are out and about, or when you are online, you have to be able to communicate effectively with virtually the entire human race. You have to be able to, with no target market, You have to be able to, any person, any John or Jane Doe, have the charisma and the confidence and the scripts to be able to capture that person's trust and attention and value on the spot, enough so much that they give you their contact information. Then you need to be at step one. Then after you've got that contact information, number two, you need to be able to semi-cold call that person and be powerful enough on the phone to get that person to agree to a presentation. Number three, we need to be able to give them a stock company presentation. So because it's a stock general presentation, you've got to then be, number four, a powerful closer. You've got to be able to fill in all the missing gaps, which there definitely will be because it's a stock presentation that doesn't speak specifically to them. So they're going to have a bunch of questions. You're going to have to bridge that gap between I'm kind of interested or I'm not really sure to giving you their credit card. So you're now on what? Skill number 5. Then you're also going to have to be really good at promoting, because you're going to have to try and convince these people that the labor intensive task and the confidence required to go out there and 3-foot rule it and have scripts in your back pocket and deal with rejection and convert them to a phone number and phone them and get them on a call and then convert all the rest of it. That's fun to do and duplicate. The industry is showing us that that doesn't duplicate, right? Not my opinion, the facts. Any company, any network marketing company, right? Go take a look at their income disclosure statement. You will see that I am not just making this stuff up. If you go to the income disclosure statement, the legal document that every network marketing company has to publish and say, this is the percentage of all the representatives that are making this amount of money. Look at the average income, look at the percentage making them. And what you're going to see is, in order for you to reach a level where someone is actually making a profit on their auto ship, so you can only call them really a business owner when they're making a profit, right? Or a successful one at that. Losing money is not what we're aiming for. It's round about 90, I mean 90 is amazing, but normally 95 to 97% of every representative in every network marketing company, not my opinion, income disclosure statement says so by the company itself, is not even breaking even. They're losing money every month. So when someone says to me, I'm not saying you personally, I'm saying when I have this discussion sometimes with other leaders who built it in the traditional way, yeah, but do funnels duplicate? I'm like, what you're doing fails 95 to 97% of the time. You have a 3 to 5% duplication rate. That means 9.5 times out of 10, what you're doing does not duplicate, flat out fails. So it's rich, right? Someone comes to me and says, hey, Richard, do funnels really duplicate though? I'm like, a damn sight better than what's being taught. Like, go look at my results page. Go look at like all the people, like the interviews that I continue to do, the success results. My program is getting a lot better than 97% failure rate. I can tell you that, a lot better. So any way you slice it, the funnels and the stuff that I'm teaching is duplicating way, 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 way better than the alternative, which is needing to gain a really like comprehensive level of skill in a whole bunch of difficult subjects. You don't have to do that with this. Let's look at funnels. We've looked at the old-fashioned and all the labor intensive and the time intensive and the following up and the closing. Let's look at the funnel system. All you have to learn how to do is pick an audience, craft an offer for that audience, and some very, very basic technical skills that something like ClickFunnels removes the need for coding and all the rest of it you used to have to do. If you asked me that 10 years ago, I'd be like, oh man, yeah, 10 years ago, are they really going to be able to afford to pay someone to code that? Are they really going to be able to code it themselves? Maybe, maybe not. But today, I mean, I even give you templates in my program, right? You click a button, you have 80% of what you need. You then learn what video you should create, what offer and text you should put, the audience you should go to, and how to market it. Those things are so much simpler to learn than becoming a cold calling expert, a super confident person, 3-foot rule. You know, getting all these different people are going to ask you different questions. Okay, I don't have an audience, so how can I answer that? You know what I mean? It's so much simpler. I don't like using the word easy, but when you stand those two methods next to each other, for me, there's a clear winner, which is why I chose to go into that method. I looked at the two and I was like, over here, I've got 328 no's in a row. I've done the three. This isn't guesswork. I did the 3-foot rule. I invited my entire warm list. I did hundreds of physical face-to-face presentations. I did the 3-way calls. I've been on both sides of this coin. This isn't me just guessing and saying something because it fits the product that I'm selling you. That's not it. I created that product from the findings and results that I physically got myself. It started as a hobby, as a passion to educate people on my team at what I was doing so they could get better results. And then more and more people came to me outside of my company, outside of my team, in the company. How is your team the 4th highest producing team when you've only been in this company a year? We've been here 5-10 years. How are you kicking everybody's backside and you're 4th highest performing team? Start to teach it. People outside of the company, hey, my old upline told me that you're teaching something that's getting these results. Can I learn this? So the HBA program came about not from me sitting somewhere and going, what's a sexy thing I can sell? Like, what message can I give these people and make them want to buy from me? That never occurred to me. What happened was I overcame the challenges that you're probably facing. I then got them for myself. I then got them for my team. I then taught it in my company. I then taught it one-on-one in the outside industry and realized I can get this information to people quicker and in more detail if I don't force them to wait for one-on-one, if I do it step by step in a program. That's how this came about. So this thought behind it. Unfortunately, the traditional people, some people are lucky. Not even lucky, I believe you make your own luck. Some people had an amazing warm market. 3%, the statistics show, 97 don't. So the 3% of people that are getting these results just by calling a handful of people, or they're already amazing on the telephone, they can cold call, of course they're going to tell you to do the same as they did, because to them it's easy. Like imagine now if I walked into another company, and I'm not doing that by the way, but if I walked into an MLM company, I could build a team instantly. I have a large audience, I have a large following. I could just say, hey, I'm going to teach you what I'm going to do for free if you join my team, so join my team. I'd get a bunch of people, right? So now I can't really teach that, but that's what I would be adamant that works. If I didn't have the education that I've got and I hadn't been through the process up to that point, I'd just be like, that's all I did. And this is what a lot of people are doing. They're like, I just prospected a few waiters and one of them brought me 1,000 people in. You know what I mean? There's like, or they say, I just cold call. I had a guy once, I had a conversation with him and we're at an event and they were asking people to stand up. I remember it. Where was I? It was Barcelona. We were in an event in Barcelona and the guy on the stage said, bring up the house lights. Everybody stand up. Stay standing if you sponsored more than 10 people. A whole bunch of people sat down. Stay standing if you sponsored more than this. I was one of the last ones standing. And what I realized was that hardly anybody had done any kind of numbers other than a handful of people. There was literally a handful of people of us at the front who was left standing. Everybody else had sat down. And I was like, that's interesting. So there's only really us in this room of thousands of people that have sponsored this many people. Everybody else has sat down. And I was like, I'm asking these people how they sponsored so many people. And because everyone saw who was left standing, so we all had a bit of a conversation afterwards. And what struck me was a large part of the work that had been done for them to get the same numbers as me was done before they'd even been in that company. No one was talking about that. Or in a handful of occasions, it was blind, not luck, because they did prospect the waiter or they did prospect the receptionist. But come on, out of every 1,000 people, if you prospect every one of them, how many of them are going to bring 10,000 people in? Is maybe 1 in 20,000. Those numbers are terrible, right? You could be prospecting forever and never find that needle in the haystack. So I was like, this is really curious because all these people in this room look up to us. And when I wasn't really wanting to get on stage and speak about it, they want to kind of hush hush because I was using online. But there's these 10 other people that had sponsored a decent number of people. And it was the same 10 people that are always on stage. Think about this. When you look at your company events and you see the leaderboards and the incentives being won, it's the same names bar a couple of people who are new. You see new people who just started, they dip into a list and they get a surge and they make an incentive. The ones that were always on the leaderboard, same people every single incentive, right? You know this, you see this. Same people on the leaderboards, same people on stage. So out of a company that's got, say, 50,000, where's my calculator? I've packed everything away, you can see we're moving soon. So let me run some numbers. Even in a half decent sized company, right? I'm giving you the information that no one else is going to give you, right? This is high level stuff. So let's say we have even 30 people who are constantly being rotated on stage. That's a lot of people, right? Usually 5 at an event, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That means only once every 6 events you're seeing these people. So let's say 30, and there's 50,000 in the company. 50, 1, 2, 3. That's 0.0006% of the company. You see it, look. It's a bit bright. 0.0006%. Those are the ones on stage. 0.0006%. And we'll sit in the audience and we go, my God, all these successful people, every single one of them, look how they get results. They made a list, they went to the list, they cold call, they 3-foot rule. That's the way. No, it's only 0.0006% chance of success. So you don't like those odds. I've got a great business method for you. Copy what I do, and there's a 99.99994% it won't work at all for you. And you'd be like, no thanks. Imagine that in any other avenue of your life. Okay, so your child wants to, you're 7 over here, I think it's 18 years old now, driving lessons, okay? I'm a driving instructor, Richard. I'd like you to pay me to teach your daughter, right? Okay, what's your success rate? How many people you teach pass the driving test? Well, 99.999994% fail. Thanks for your time, next. But what do we do in network marketing? We sit on stage and we go, oh, yes, warm list again. Oh, yes, prospect the waiter and the waitress. That's the secret. No, that's 30 out of 50,000. 30 out of 50,000. Those aren't the odds that I want for you. This is why. Does it duplicate? My word, a lot better than what's being taught. I researched these people. I said, hey, great. It was funny how we were only left standing, right? What did you do to sponsor that many people? Well, I've been in a couple of companies before. So, when I came into this company, I brought in my leaders. They brought in their team. I'm like, okay, you don't count. Next person. I only had to sponsor 50 people to get, how did you do that? Well, I had a successful law firm, already an established pillar of the community. Lawyer, successful lawyer practice, making a bunch of money, had the massive house, had the fancy cars. Of course, people in his warm market went to him. Oh, well, I won't say his name, but if John Doe's in the company and he's doing a business project, he's got a BMW on the drive, his wife's got a Mercedes, she's in the law practice, he's successful, massive house. I want a taste of that. Whatever they're doing, I'm going to do. Is that duplicatable? No, their warm market doesn't view them the same way my warm market viewed me, the same way your warm market doesn't view you. So we can't just wait for 10 years for the people that we know to say, oh, you're living in a big house with a fancy car, now maybe I'll take a look at what you're doing. We haven't got that option. We need to get results now. We want to commission now. We want to sponsor people now. What's the fastest way I can teach you how to do that? It's to generate a new audience. Is to go and generate people who actually have why do you think I'm so banging on about specificity in the marketplace? Because that's the quickest way you're going to gain trust and rapport, by going to these people. And because it's so specific what you offer them and it's exactly what they want, they're going to say, yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, I want some of that. So we need all the things I teach you in HBA. It's because we need these things in place to have any other alternative than the 97% failure rate from the 30 people that are getting on stage. 30 people is a lot of people to be saying the same old message. I just prospected a waitress. I just prospected a waiter. I already had a great warm market. I just went through my list. Yeah, but these things aren't duplicatable because you can't duplicate a relationship. You can't duplicate a human being's past. This is what that relies on. Well, if I went to my warm market and they all joined me, and you should go to your warm market and do the same. No, because it's completely different. My past is mine to own. I built that relationship with those people, either well enough or not enough. I realized it wasn't enough. I had to hold my hand up and say my warm market isn't going to join me. I spoke to them all. I have to cut that free. Maybe they'll come back around, and some did. A year or two later, when I had some results, I was getting on stage, all those type of things. But I had to say, you know what? Let me stop relying on being this false truth that if I just want it more, if I just give them a different script, if I just try and push them into a corner, like those people that cold call you. I had someone yesterday. Hey, you know, are you interested in you know, making more money? I'm like, everybody wants to make more money. Stop trying to trap me with a cheesy question. I said, no, I'm not. Can I ask you why? I said, no, you can't. I'm a busy man. I don't have time, and neither do I have to explain. Best of luck. Like, nobody likes being forced to give these answers that we say. Hey, do you want to, you know, do you want to limit the chances of cancer? Well, yeah, of course I do. Do you want to protect your family? Well, yeah, of course I do. Oh, well, you should be taking my vitamin then. If you don't take my vitamin, it's kind of saying you don't love your family enough. That is not a good message. Not a good message. There's enough of that. Look around you. Look at the world that we're in. Look around you, right? At people. If you wear a mask, you're an idiot. If you don't wear a mask, you're an idiot. If you stay indoors, you're a sheep. If you don't stay indoors, everybody wants to attack everybody else. There's enough pressure from outside sources that make us feel we need to behave a certain way, and everybody got to do this or not do this, or it's just ridiculous. Nobody needs another pressure from another person trying to back them into a corner and force them to buy something they don't really want to buy, but you've guilt them into it. You know what happens when you sign those people up? They don't refer anybody. At the quickest excuse they can find, they're out of there, and you lost a friendship or you lost the respect of a new person. It's pointless doing it. Much better finding somebody who has an additional need. Much better to do that, right? And then give them the information. The beauty of HBA is and the methods I teach, you give people what they want. You assist them in the information they're already searching for. You answer the questions they've had on their mind and people are refusing to answer. You can be a problem solver as opposed to a problem pointer. You can be part of a solution instead of a problem. You can actually enjoy. I loved having a team in network marketing. We're all on the same page. I loved my team. Like, it was so much fun when we went to events together. I would be like, take what they say with a pinch of salt, but some of the stories are cool. We used to just treat it as a vacation. I used to go to Amsterdam. We had we had some of the things I could tell you about Amsterdam. Not the things you would think of. I'm a family man. That's not my bag. But it was so funny. I'll tell you a quick story about Amsterdam, just to show you what happens when you build a team the right way, okay? And then I'll come through some more of these comments, okay? I've only got 5 or 10 minutes left, so I'll keep it quick. We had a guy, and he won't mind me saying this. He's one of my favorite people, even though I hardly see him. His name is Lee, right? Lee is he's away with the fairies. He's got his own world. He's heart of gold. He can do anything to help you, right? And this trip to Amsterdam was set up by me sharing a room with Lee in the previous event, which was, excuse me, in London. So in London, we had this slot. The speaker was saying, you know what, you got to take it to the next level. Come on, you're riling you up. He said, what I want you to do is I want you to go take some notes on your goals and things. I mean, it was all useless stuff, right? Go to your warm market again. I was making a list of my warm market. Pointless, but I felt good, right? One of my first big events. So me and Lee is sharing this room. He's in his bed, I'm in mine. And he doesn't stop talking. So I've got my headphones in, pretending I can't hear him to try not to be rude, but I want some peace and quiet. I'm focused on getting out of debt. I'm focused on sponsoring everyone on the planet, right? So I'm writing this list, I'm writing these notes down, and I can hear Lee mumbling. I'm like, oh, I can't hear you, sorry. Anyway, he falls asleep. I take my headphones out, he's stuck on asleep, and in his sleep, right, he's done nothing, he's taken no notes, he's written no list, he's made no calls, he's done no work. He's dreaming in his sleep going, I'm going to take it to a whole nother level. He's dreaming he's going to go to another level without doing anything. That's Lee. So funny. So I'm like, right, guys, I had Lee last event. Someone else has got to take Lee for this one. So one of our friends called Rob was staying with him. It was so funny. It was like a married couple. So after a couple of days of Lee constantly talking his ear off, constantly saying he's going to do stuff in his sleep and not doing anything, we'd met at a bar in Amsterdam. And we're on the phone to Lee, and Lee's walking down the road. Bear in mind, we were at the very end of Amsterdam, right? There's civilization to the left, and to the right, there's a building site. There's no more buildings. There's nothing. Lee, we're at the pub on the corner. Oh yeah, okay guys, yeah, I'll be there. Lee, we're at the pub. Where are you? Oh, I haven't left the hotel yet. So Rob's going crazy trying to get there. Lee, we're at the same pub we were yesterday. Lee turns into the building site. I'm like, what? Lee, where are you going? He's like, what? I'm like, where did you think you were going? There is no street lights. There is no building. There is no road. Obviously, it's this way where all the people are and the lights are. We're obviously this way. Oh, yeah. So that's Lee. Heart of gold. Such a funny guy. So we're in the next morning, a couple of days, and they come down for breakfast, and they come down for breakfast separately. It's like a married couple. Rob comes down, face like thunder. Lee comes down late as always for breakfast. Morning. So I'm looking at the guys, and I'm looking at Rob, and I'm looking at Lee. What's gone on? Rob says, why don't you ask him? It's like a married couple. I've had enough of this. And he walks off. I'm going for a walk. I don't want nobody to come with me. And Rob goes off. And Rob's a patient guy. And Lee's like, I think I may have said some things to upset Rob last night. Oh, some of the stories I could tell you about Lee. He asked one of my friends once, hey, when are you going to have a baby? And they were like, oh, we're actually trying for a baby right now. It's not really happening. I'm like, oh, Lee, don't ask young married couples that question. They either don't want a child or they're trying and it's not working. It's not really an aphrodisiac. Your face and their voice tonight when they're thinking, oh, I suppose we should try again. What's he doing an hour later because he's nervous? So when are you guys going to have a baby? I'm like, Lee answered that question. The guy's like, we're trying. It's just not quite happening for us right now. I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I have to like move him away. I'm like, Lee, you can't ask people that question. It doesn't help if someone's been trying for months and they can't get pregnant for you to bang on about that stuff twice. Don't ask that. Oh, there's all sorts of stories I could tell you about Lee. But the reason I tell you a couple of those stories is like those were through our network marketing team, because I built a team the right way, because I plugged them into something that was working, because I was able to take some time with them and do these type of things that I teach in my program. You know, I was able to generate some really good friendships. I was able to generate some really good memories and some really happy times. So I've never thought it's been enough to just say to people, just want it more. Just go do this. Just go do that, and be dismissive of them. I've always wanted to say, you know what, I want to treat people as individuals and respect that fact that they have their own goals and personalities. Lee was never going to become the kind of guy that could just call 50 people. Lee was never going to be the kind of guy that could just, generate all the, he's never going to be a closer. He's too nice. He could never put people in that uncomfortable situation. He just couldn't do it. So what am I supposed to say to him? Hey, Lee, you're a great guy. I really like you. We have a lot of fun, but you're never going to make any money here. No, I was like, I can remove the need for you to have that skill, Lee. We just need to pre-record what you would say one time and then be able to leverage that one time so you never have to do it again. That's why I like funnels. That's why I like online systems. It's pieces of the jigsaw. You don't have to always be on the spot thinking quickly, dealing with pressure, dealing with all this stuff. You can just say, you know what, while my thinking's clear, I'll do some preparation. I'll build this thing the right way, little bit by little bit. And then the system that's finished, I don't really have to touch it anymore. It's going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for me. If I do have to close somebody or answer a question, they're much more pleasant about it. I can outsource these skills to a system and be able to move through those things. You know what I mean? It just means something when you can do that for people. And that's why I love funnels. Lee was so funny. Oh, I'm trying to think if there was one more story I wanted to tell you, but I can't think what it is. Oh, last story, then I've got to go. We're all going from Belgrade. We went to Belgrade, okay? The area where we stayed in wasn't the best, okay? It wasn't the best. So I said, guys, it's a good idea if we all travel to the airport together, okay? I think it's a good idea if we travel the airport together. Okay. I said, no, was it Belgrade? I think it was Belgrade. I said, okay, so who wants in on the, I'll book as a limo. We'll all go together. So Lee, do you want to come? He said, oh, no, thank you. But, I'm at this airport. I'm on this flight. Oh, no problem. Listen, take care. Shake hands, give me a hug. We'll see you in a few months in the next event. So, so we all get to, you know what's coming, right? So he gets the limo, we get to the airport, everybody's there, we're all catching the same flight, we're all hanging around together. get something to eat, we go through to the departure lounge. We're there early. I like being early, so we're there early, we're relaxed, we're chill, we're having a conversation. And then the next thing is like getting like 10 minutes before the gate opens, 5 minutes before the gate opens. Who comes marching down the tunnel? Lee. Only gone to the wrong airport, didn't check his, I told him to check his ticket, didn't check his ticket. So he's got in a taxi, he said the airport, they've took him to the wrong one. He was with us, he was on the same flight. He comes sweating, marching to the gate, looking at his ticket, looking where he is. He's about to walk off. I'm like, Lee, I think you're at the right gate, mate. This is the only flight to the UK in the next few hours. He's like, oh, am I? Give me your phone. Here's your download, your ticket, that you're in the right place to stay with us. It's hilarious. The guy spent all afternoon traveling around the wrong airport, looking for a flight that didn't exist until someone said, that's not this airport. Could have come in the limo anyway. So it's funny. I got loads of stories I could tell you about Lee and the events that we had a lot of fun. And that's all come about from our industry. Never would have had those memories if I hadn't done it the right way. So let me read through a few of your comments. Someone said, thanks so much for this. You're welcome. How do you get traffic to the funnel? Quickly answer that. I would always go active and passive. In my HBA program, I talk about active lead generation and passive lead generation. You want to overlap the two. So active lead generation, certain ways and places you can prospect to get decisions now. Passive, content, because there's a tipping point. You no longer have to prospect at a certain point if you've been doing the passive, because that takes over. I like to prospect now and again to make sure what I'm teaching works. I don't have to, because so much is coming in from my podcast and YouTube and everything else. That's the place you want to put yourself into. The choice of whether having to work in that area or not. I do this because I love it, because I need to anymore. I've got 5 years of content, tipping traffic and attention towards what I do. I just do this because I enjoy it and I like giving back. So traffic, lots of different methods. Active prospecting and YouTube would be my standout methods. Once you have a system in place that works, paid advertising to scale. You've always got an amazing way of explaining things. Thank you. It took a lot of practice. I pride myself on being professional to try and help people. If I can't communicate, I can't help. So I took a lot of time and effort to be a better communicator. Oh, wow. Yes. Thank you so much for this. You're welcome. The truth will set you free. Absolutely. Aren't websites funnels, though? Not really. It depends how you're using them. A funnel is a sequence of steps that leads about to a desired outcome, online or offline. Someone can have a sales funnel that's offline. They may say, well, my sales funnel is I cold call 100 people. Every 100 people I cold call, 10 people say yes to a presentation. So I email 10 people a presentation. One of them actually watches it, or and then I put in a phone call and try and close them. That's a sales funnel. Not very effective one, but it's still a sequence of steps that you're like, these are the steps that I follow to get someone from no idea who I am, I'm in your team and duplicating. So I like to use a sales funnel online because it's just much simpler, gives you more of a reach. It's 24/7. You don't have to do it over and over again. For me, a sales funnel is something where you have an offer, you have a way that someone gives you their information, that's raising their hand. Enter your email for XYZ. That's a hand raise, right? They enter their email. Now they've given you one agreement and one yes already. Then we give them some information, and then we give them a call to action. There's much more complicated versions of funnels. Like I have funnels where it's a free PDF and it's a series of upsells to other products perhaps. And then it's maybe, when I used to do coaching calls, then the final one was, do you want a coaching call? So there's lots of different things you can use funnels for. Selling a product, getting a view on a presentation, simply generating leads on an email list, getting people in a Facebook group. You need an offer, you need an audience, and you need an outcome. Websites can do that. It's just hard to build that. And the reason I don't like websites for funnels is there's lots of distractions. When you're inside of any of my funnels, there's only two options. Take the next step or don't take the next step. There's not like 50 things where I'm like on my website, you can check out results of my students, you can check out the blog, you can check out the homepage, you can go to the, send me a contact info, scroll around different articles. So that gives more options for the same pot of attention. So it diminishes that on a website. Whereas on a funnel, when you've got a funnel builder, for the sake of a small monthly fee, I like the fact that I can seal that attention in. Hey, I'm Richard, this is what I'm offering you. Do you want to take a look? They say, yeah, now they're in that sealed environment. You either watch the video or you go away. You either book an appointment with me, or you watch my webinar, or you buy my product, or you go away, but you're still on my email list, and I can still contact you and follow up with you and build a relationship with you. There's none of this, oh, well, maybe I'll take a look at the funnel, oh, but there's something else on the website I want to look at. That's why I prefer having a sales funnel, even though you can kind of build it if you wanted to go to the effort on the website. There's just too much leakage, you know, and you think about how much that costs you. If every 100 people that are viewing that page, you're losing 40 to leakage, and out of every 40, you'll find 5 people would sign up. What's 5 people a week? Sign-up bonuses, duplication. A year from now, it's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So I'm happy to pay a monthly fee to a funnel builder to not have that leakage, and now I'm getting the very best conversions. That's why I like doing that. Me too. I love helping people have breakthroughs. Good. If you love helping people have breakthroughs, you're in the right industry, following the right person. I love to teach that. Your stories are always great. I've got some funny stories I can share with you. That was my aha moment. Great stuff. Doing it correctly once. Exactly. No point doing it cheap, free, or negatively, just to have to go fix it and be frustrated. It's unnecessary struggle. Someone's put, oh, Lee. Yeah, that's what we used to say, oh, Lee. And got it. Good. Okay, so I'm going to have to shoot now. I've literally reached the limit of my time to go and set off. We've overrun. Thankfully, as I was talking, I got a notification that something I was going to go do has been delayed. So I was able to go for longer here. I wanted to give you some more time. Hopefully this was useful. If you found this useful, there's 2 things that I suggest. Number 1, if you haven't already, take a look at my longer web class. There's a whole bunch of good stuff like this in that web class, exposing what's happening in the industry, how to fix it, how I built a business. You can go to authoritynetworker.com/webinar to see that. I'll also put the link in the comments if you're at the replay. Dana, I said I was going to message you. I'll definitely do that today. And the second thing I would recommend that you do is, if you do have a team, or you have other people you know in network marketing who are maybe prospects of yours or friends of yours, you don't have to, but I would appreciate if you would recommend that they come and take a look at this group. It's zero promotional, as you can see. There's not me or nobody else is in here promoting other MLM companies. So your team is safe in here. It's completely 100% designed, my teachings, whatever's shared in here, towards you and your team getting better results in the company that you're in. Not trying to prize you out of a company and put you in someone else's like a lot of groups do. So if you do have people in a team, I know Andrew's got his whole team in here and they're doing well. If you have other people, your prospects, you want to show some goodwill, or you just want to play a part in helping people, you know they're going to get looked after in here. Feel free to shoot them a message. Hey, I've got a group, great value in there. Would you like the link to join? And I'll quickly recommend and accept them in. So as always, I hope you've gained value from this. I hope it was useful. Go create a day in a life that counts. Always have more desires than excuses. I'll catch you next Thursday. If not before, then if you have something you need help with, just shoot me a message. I'm happy to help. Bye for now. Have a fantastic day, everyone. Thanks for your attention. I really appreciate it.